Welcome back. Joining me now is veteran broadcaster Dee Dee Dunleavy. Dee Dee, let's start with the royals. Prince William has appointed Jason Knauf, a former royal aide who accused Meghan Markle of bullying. He's appointed this dude as the CEO of his green charity, the Earthshot Prize. This looks like an unequivocal message to Prince Harry and Meghan Markle from Prince William. I mean, of all the people he could have appointed, Dee Dee, he's picked this dude.
Yeah, look, I honestly don't believe that William is that vindictive, but it does actually tell us a lot because this guy, Jason Knauf, now, however it's pronounced, he was the person who filed the complaint back in 2018, alleging that Meghan was bullying people behind the scenes in the palace. He, at that time, was communications head for both William and Kate and for Harry and Meghan. So he obviously knows what's going on behind the scenes quite clearly. So I think what this appointment tells us is that he's still a trusted and respected member behind the palace walls. And that then adds credibility to those claims that he came forward with back in 2018. So I think it tells us a lot more than just the fact that he's still at William's side.
I think it tells us that they believe his version of events rather than Harry and Meghan's.
Exactly.
Now, Meghan Markle has been caught up in another plagiarism accusation. The author of the children's book series Pearl Power, Mel Elliott, has told the Daily Mail that Markle's Netflix series that has now been scrapped, which was set to be named Pearl, had many similarities to her books that were too great to ignore. Dee Dee, she's had a few of these sorts of accusations in recent times.
Yes, Meghan loves copying things, doesn't she? I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe Meghan invented jam. Maybe there's never been jam before she came up with jam and started selling it to everyone. That's a possibility. It's really interesting, the timing with this particular case. So this woman's books were written 7 years earlier than all of this happened, than Meghan's show Pearl was announced in 2021. And around that time, a letter was sent from this author to Netflix and to Meghan's Archwell, I think was the company at the time. And around that same time, it was then announced that Meghan's version of Pearl would not be proceeding. But the interesting thing, and the thing I think that this author is disappointed with, is that Meghan never responded to that letter. And as she said, you know, Meghan calls herself a feminist. And here she's appearing, we'll never know for sure, appearing to take, let's just be generous and say, inspiration from the work of another woman. It doesn't fit. It's a case of, you know, do as I say, don't do as I do. And like you said, Rita, you know, the copying claims just continue to come. There's the show that very, very closely resembles the one that was put out a few months earlier by Pamela Anderson. And there's the logo for her As Ever, which looked very much like the coat of arms for a small town in Spain.
Yes.
It just tells us nothing she does is original. I just find her such a faker. And she's not a person that I would ever look to for inspiration about anything, because nothing she does is original.
Well, she did. I think she's the only person who has taken pretzels from a bag that she's purchased at the shop and put them in another bag, and that's been part of her lifestyle program.
Yes.
So that was pretty original. I'm not sure one that should be emulated, but now this Channel 7 clip has gone viral around the world. This is just causing a sensation. It features twin sisters Bridget and Paula Powers recounting a terrifying ordeal involving a gunman on the Sunshine Coast, Steve Irwin way. But listen to this. I mean, they just are entirely in sync with each other.
And one guy, he was up there with our mum, and he went up there and he was coming back down towards us, and he goes, "Run, he's got a gun." And our heart started to pound, and I said, "Well, Mum, where's Mum?" And poor Mum was stuck up there, but apparently our brave Mum, she goes, "Are you all right?"
Because he had all blood
all over his face. And he goes, "I'll shoot you." She goes, "Hey, I'm here to help."
I mean, that went on for several minutes. I've just played you 30 seconds, but there's plenty more of that, just in unison, the hand movements, the words, the tone. And they appeared on the project last night for more of the same.
Well, it just happens and we don't know why, but we have tried to talk separately, but we're not ourselves. It's not us.
I'm lost for words, Dee Dee. Something supernatural is happening there.
It's really interesting. I love it. I just think they're really cute. And whether it is a very well-honed act or whether it is coming naturally, I tend to believe that. My godsons are twins and they invented their own language when they were tiny, when they first started to speak. And curiously, even though they're, Aussie born and bred, they spoke with English accents, which was very odd. I'm going to give you a recommendation. There's a show called The Rain Man Twins, and it features two twins. They've been in their 60s now, called Flo and Kay Lyman, and they are autistic savant twins. They have literally memorized everything that has happened in the world since they were born. And it's a documentary. It'd be floating around somewhere. You'd be able to Google it, Rita. It's worth it. I highly recommend it. The Rain Man Twins.
Oh, I tell you, these two, it's not an act. They're not rehearsing it. There is just too much footage of them. They just, I don't know, they're in sync with each other. I mean, they say twins shared something no one else. Well, you are so cynical, Dee Dee. I mean, how can you be even more cynical than I am?
Their school friends have said that they were never like that at school. But then I suppose they were younger then. This is something like my husband and I finish each other's sentences. So it is something if you're around someone. And the twins have said that they literally have not spent a second apart. So it's something that's happened probably over the years. So it does make sense if they weren't doing it at school that they are doing it now that it's happened naturally. But yes, am I more cynical than you? Is that possible?
I think you are, because I am buying this completely. Dee Dee Dunleavy, thank you so much for your time tonight.